Well, when we started, Parvo is a bit of a coding genius, so we quickly set up a website, actually with the help of another friend as well, and had a web forum on that site. And for years, that was kind of like, you know, pre-Facebook and Twitter and everything else, that was kind of a center for our fans to discuss our music and to discuss what they wanted to discuss about their lives. And we even quite early on set up a making music forum so they could discuss, you know, how to produce better as well. And so we already had a kind of web community, if you like, before, you know, it was normal to be online and to have friends online and all that kind of stuff. And a lot of people, you know, started to meet each other at the gigs, and it was amazing to see what happened. And then Facebook and Twitter and all of those things came along, didn't they? And
yeah, and I think we sort of, you know, we are all kind of quite geeky, so we saw the
really?
Yeah, we are, and I think we saw the potential of the internet almost sort of before it was really happening, and the exciting bit of it was the real-time sharing of music. The idea that, you know, we can have, you know, lots of people around the world talking about the same song, for example, and that before the internet, that was really not happening. We were going to different cities with boxes of vinyl, and you know, we'd often go to different places, and people would have never heard these songs that we're going to play.
Yeah.
Whereas these days, we can be in a studio, finish a track on a Thursday, put it on that week's radio show, and then travel from London to Cape Town, and people are going to be singing along. And it's been that sort of instantness that's come from the internet that's really exciting.
And also it's enabled us to sort of step outside the mainstream media channels and, you know, kind of like what the heavy metal bands do. I always think that they're a really good kind of model for how you can operate outside of mainstream radio and stuff like that. If you take a band like Iron Maiden, I'm obsessed with how they operate, because they, you know, have an incredible following, yet they're not on the radio. And I think that that's an amazing thing. And you know, for us, it's been a case of how can we haven't tried to replicate that, but we realized, you know, quite quickly, I think, that when we were getting rejected by major labels, because originally when we started Above and Beyond, we'd try and, you know, sign our tracks to Sony, BMG, you know, Warner Music, all of these major labels. And sometimes it would work. We did sign Ocean Lab to Warner. But what we were finding is that we'd make something that we thought was really great, but they didn't think so, because maybe it didn't tick a box at Radio 1, or, you know, there were certain songs that, yeah, they didn't think they could get on commercial radio. And, you know, we just wanted to make music and share it with people. So we kind of, through kind of by accident, I guess, you know, sort of found our own way to reach our fans, which is, as Parvo said, you know, it's like sharing music, but largely through our radio show, I would say. And in America, you then had this revolution over the last 10 years of satellite radio, where most new cars have satellite radio receivers in them. And also, yeah, the radio show is available online as well. So it's great that fans can access their favorite artists directly, rather than, you know, having to be forced what some DJ in a radio station thinks is great down their throat. And that's what we saw as, we didn't realize it at the time necessarily, but now, you know, that was the opportunity, obviously, to directly contact your fans rather than be kind of a slave to these systems that are in place, to these gatekeepers, if you like. Because actually, I think if people like something, it kind of rises up anyway. If you give people the chance to hear it, you know, people will vote with their feet anyway. So if they like something you're doing, they'll say so, and the other stuff they won't. So if you can find a way to access those people, that's the exciting thing, I think.
And the thing with the internet that's been interesting to see is how important it has become, and how so many people look at, you know, how many likes did the picture get, or how many views does a video have, or how many followers do people have. And then all the while people sometimes forget that really what it's about is about an actual connection with people. And I'm really excited about the sort of, you know, personal contact that the internet gives to us to our fans and to our fans to us, and most importantly also between our fans, and how we can almost be a part of this online community, you know, where we are members like everybody else. You know, we're on Twitter and our fans are on Twitter, and we can have those conversations, but it's how you make those relationships more real.
Yeah.
That's really, really interesting.
And also I think what's often lost in today's world, I think, you know, a lot of people want to get into this area, into dance music, but if you look at it in a clinical sense, the product is the music, and there's a lot of focus on social media, and it really is important, don't get me wrong, but it's kind of secondary, and I think there are certain people who are very, very good online, but maybe their music is actually, you know, going to be forgotten in a year's time, and they'll have a moment of kind of attention from the internet, but then people will move on to the next thing, and I think it's really important as an artist you remember what it is. If you're doing music, actually the music is your kind of product. That's what the main thing that you do is, and to focus on that. So that all of these social media things are just tools, you know, to help you reach fans. They aren't the product, if you like. Yeah.
We like social media, can you tell?
Seems to blow my nose.